What's going on, everybody? It's Physical Friday, and I am so glad that you're here. You guys are friends, and that's what today is all about. It's about having friends and the importance of having friends and the importance of having time with your friends. Now, as fishermen, most of us here are fishermen or hunters or some sort of outdoorsman. That gives us an activity that we can share with other people. You can have a fishing buddy. But you know what? A lot of people have lost that or don't have that, or maybe you go fishing by yourself, or maybe you do have a fishing buddy and that's where it stops, is the one person. And maybe if that's the case, you're extremely lucky, because in my group this morning, we were talking about different things that dudes talk about when you are together, and one of those things was a colonoscopy. This, when you're getting in the 40s and 50s, this is something that you have to do. And one of my friends said, "Do you know that I read an article recently that said that a big percentage of men feel like they do not have a friend that is close enough to them that they could ask about a colonoscopy? You could just ask, like, have you had one? What's it like? Maybe I need a ride home from one." I don't know. People felt like they did not have a friend close enough to them that they could ask something like that. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, wow, that is a crazy statistic, because I feel like in my life, I am completely fortunate in a lot of different ways. I have a wonderful family, and I have a wonderful wife and wonderful kids. And in a lot of people's lives, that's enough, right? But there can be some other things missing. In my life, I have several different groups of friends. I've got my fishing friends. I've got my hunting friends. I've got my workout friends. I've got all different types of friends. I'm very fortunate like that, I guess, because when I started reading articles, I read things like this. Last September, a poll conducted by YouGov found that 18% of men do not have any close friends, and 32% do not have someone that they count on as a best friend. And last June, the Movember charity released a research paper which revealed that 20% of dads lose close friends in the 12 months after they become a father. Okay, now that one I completely understand, because that one happens to a lot of people. As you get married, it even happens. When you get married, a lot of times your single friends are kind of like, oh man, can't hang out with you anymore. You know, you're married now, you're doing other things, you're hanging out with couples, you're cooking at home, you're doing married things, and there is a separation between the people that you used to hang out with all the time and now you become married. In a lot of situations, you welcome that, you want that, that's why you got married, right? Then another thing happens as you have kids, you have a baby, and man, I mean, talk about a big move from where you used to be hanging out with your friends at the college type apartment place to getting married to now having a baby. You're living in two completely different worlds. I remember when Rich didn't have any children and we were trying to get the TV show started and everything like that, he would call up at like 6:30 or 7 at night, and he'd want to talk. And he didn't have any kids. And I'm like, dude, listen, I can't, I'm sorry, but I can't talk to you right now. This is dinner, bath, and bedtime, and this is off limits time. And when you're talking to someone who is not experiencing that, they don't understand, like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And I'm like, look, between the hours of like 4:30 and, probably about 8, I'm tied up, locked up. There's no time for phone calls at that time. Now, we can talk after, we can talk before, we can talk in the mornings, we can talk any other time, but that dinner, bath, and bedtime, that is off limits, okay? He was very respectful of that. We worked through it, no problem. And then very soon after, he had kids, and he came back to me and he's like, "Oh, I get the dinner, bath, and bedtime. Like, that's fine." But it's things like that that can move you away from these friend groups, and it can move you in a direction to where now you are doing what you're supposed to do, being a responsible father, a responsible husband, and a responsible person, and you're taking care of this family. But all along the time, at the same amount of time, you're isolating yourself from some of the friends that you used to have. And let's say that you move to a new place. Now you are on an island. You're taking care of your family, which is wonderful. You should be doing that. But you also find yourself in a place without any friends. And apparently, the pandemic has made it far worse. And I got some other stuff from different things. The most significant decline in friendship is among men. According to a May 2021 poll, the percentage of men who say they have no close friends has quintupled since 1990, affecting nearly 1 out of every 6 American men. There are obvious reasons for why ours is a lonely culture, but most of them predate the global pandemic. A high rate of geographic mobility. Like I said, you move to a different place, time spent traveling, you're on the road all the time. It's hard to maintain relationships, and time on screens. That's definitely one. You're instead of out meeting people, you're on your phone, or we're on our phones. Those are something that came from a book called "We Need to Hang Out" by Billy Baker. It is so important, and the reason that this is on Physical Friday is because Physical Friday is a place where we kind of explore different topics about how we can be at our physical best. Of course, being at our physical best, you need to eat right. You need to work on your sleep and make sure that your sleep environment is excellent and you're getting enough sleep. Your hydration. We've talked about all of these different things. And of course, your workouts, your mobility, your flexibility, all of these things are a big part of how you as a person navigate your way through this world. If you are pain-free and you can move well, you're going to be a lot happier than if every joint hurts and you're losing mobility day after day and you're weak, right? You're going to be a lot happier if you're feeling good. That feeling good is the stacking W's like we talked about before. The better you feel, the more you want to do. And the more you want to do, the more you actually do. And then you start to live a more fulfilled life. Now, as we've talked about this a lot of times, one of the things that continues to be kind of a theme is that there are groups that you can join, whether you're into golf or whether you're into fishing or whether you're into hunting, whether you're into bowling, whatever it is that you're into, riding mountain bikes, riding road bikes, there is a group that you could join. So if you are finding yourself in one of these situations to where you think about it, how many friends do you really have right now that you could count on? I think a lot of people listening to this have a lot. I think that we're very fortunate in the outdoor space that we have activities that require other people to be involved, right? Fishing, it's kind of hard to fish by yourself in a lot of situations. Going offshore fishing by yourself, good luck, right? Some people do it, and you can single hand, a sailfish, or single hand a marlin, or single hand a big wahoo or something. That's a fantastic accomplishment. Go out and get a grand slam by yourself on fly, like our guest Paul Ross did. That's fantastic. That's amazing. But it doesn't happen that much. For you to really be successful on a skiff, kind of requires somebody else on there with you, and that's fantastic. That's a great opportunity for us to develop deep relationships with other people. Your fishing buddy can be one of your most important people. But if you don't have that, or you're finding yourself in a situation like this and you're listening to this, maybe it's a group, maybe it's a fitness group, maybe it's a CrossFit gym, maybe it's Orange Theory, maybe it is a bike group or a swim group or a running group that you could become a member of. And those people in that group could become a really, really important part of your life. That's the way the people in my workout group are. They are a really, really, really important part of my life. It is a tremendous amount of my overall social interaction is with those people. We're going through something that is very, very difficult on a daily basis, and there's some humor involved. Not entirely unlike a military situation. That's what a lot of times people have referred to about people that are in the military. They become incredibly close with the people that are around them because they're all going through something hard, and there's a tremendous amount of humor involved. And those two things bind people together. Humor and hardship. Those go hand in hand. And that's what happens in a workout group or a bike group or something like that. You're all going through something very difficult and you're kind of laughing about it. And then when it's over, these people are more like brothers than they are friends. You've endured something together, which binds you together very, very closely. Now, an exercise group is a fantastic way to bond people together, but it's not the only way. Church, synagogue, poker, golf, lots of things can have a similar effect. A bowling league could have a similar effect. But the point being that in order to live a vibrant, thriving life, it's not enough to simply thrive in a few different areas. Your business and your home thriving. But what about your outside relationships? Are they thriving? And for a while, you may think, you know what? I don't even need them because I love my wife and I love my kids so much that this is all I want right now. And it may be all you want right now. But if you completely isolate yourself from all other relationships, there may come a day, and I'm here to tell you that it does happen, where your children leave the house. They go to college, or they get jobs, or they get married, and they leave the house. And there is something called empty nest syndrome, where you don't have those kids in the house anymore. And when the kids leave the house, there is a tremendous amount of time available all of the sudden. It happens also when your kids get their driver's license and you were ferrying them around and carpooling and doing all these other things, and all of a sudden they have their driver's license and that just vanishes and it's over. It's gone. So it is very, very important to have a wonderful relationship at home and a wonderful relationship with your business and whatever other relationships. But don't forget about your own friendships, because they are very, very important. And so is your spiritual life, and so is your emotional health, and so is your nutrition and your physical health. And all of these things are very, very important to be abundant in every area of your life. That's thriving. So if you find yourself in a situation to where maybe you don't have that many friends, could you accomplish that by joining a fitness group of some sort? And then you get two things at once. Like you're thinking, man, I need to get in shape. Okay, well, we've talked about this many times before. Is there a way that you could get in shape that also satisfies a couple of other things? Like, I don't have any friends and I am not in the physical condition that I would like. Okay, could you join a group that would give you friends and get you in shape? Because two things are going to happen at that. And could you do that at a time of day where it doesn't affect your business or your family? That's a win. That's a win for everybody. You get friends, you get in shape, you're not taken away from your family. That's an enhancement of your life. That's fantastic. That's what we're all about here on this Physical Friday, is how we enhance our lives, how we can make more of our lives than not, right? So don't forget about the friends. Friends are super important. And if you have friends and you're lucky enough to have a lot of friends, send them a text today and tell them how appreciative you are of their friendship. That's not weird. That's what friends do. Friends just send each other a text out of nowhere saying, hey man, listen, your friendship means a ton to me and I'm happy to call you a friend. It could be that simple. Whatever. just let people know that you're their friend, and then extend that out. And if you're looking for friends, give more than you get, than you take, right? That's the way to do it. Just give, constantly give to those around you. And that's how you become a great friend. And you will find that they will be doing the same for you very soon. So think about that. I've been thinking about it. I feel sorry for these people that don't have any friends. And it could be as simple as they have just found themselves in a place in their life where their family is the most important and their work is the second most important, and they just really have forgotten about everything else. And that's fine until it comes to a time to where you really need a friend. Maybe you're getting ready to get a colonoscopy and you want to ask somebody about it. So there'll be a time when you need a friend. And when you need a friend and you have none, that's a tough time to go out and find some. So maintain those relationships. It's an important part of your life. And if you are lucky enough, like myself, to have a lot of friends, then tell them thank you. All right, that's Physical Friday for today. We'll see you next week.